Director in June of 1994. In her career, she has been on the Court of Personal Sales twice. She's been on the Court of Sharing 5 times. She's been a double star achiever 5 times. She's been a triple star achiever. Her unit has been in the unit clubs 20 times. She has been on 10 top sales director trips, including a prestige trip. I love saying prestige trip. But get this year, for the first time, Keita Powell is $1 million. Sales director in the Delaware area. She's earned 14 cars in her career. 10 of those were pink Cadillacs, have been pink Cadillacs. Her unit in the state of Maryland was #1 in 2005, 2013, and 2016. Her highest unit retail is over $138,000 in 1 month, and her highest director's commission is over $21,000. And I say this accolade for last for a reason. She was the nominee, the Go Give nominee for August of 2004, and she was the annual Go Give award winner in 2005. Please give her a round. Maryland. Please give a huge, what is it? Bowie. It's okay, I got in trouble in New York once when I called it Houston Street too, so please forgive me. Please give her a huge round of applause. Executive, Senior, Sales Director, and $1 million Sales Director, Keita Powell.
Good morning. How are y'all feeling? Feeling like $1 million? Oh my goodness. I think God just allowed for my voice to be like this so I can really talk slower for you guys this morning. I just want to just give God all the glory and all the praise. And every time I have the opportunity to speak or train, I don't take it lightly. So I just pray that He'll allow me to decrease so that I can increase. And today that He will allow me to just connect with you, reach you, and transform you. National LaRonda, oh my gosh, she was the #1 person in my youth director class way back. And I was like, oh, must have a lot of energy, but you're going to get a different Keita Powell right now to connect. She painted the big picture and gave you all the passion and the abundance. And my class is about growing your team, but also trying to address some of your fears. So it's going to be really a little bit more interactive with that, because Ron, you're ready to go out here and recruit. Well, now let's just talk a little real talk, sister to sister. Just a couple people tell me, what has been your fear about team building? You got the 3. Some of you probably did, like, Lori Maple Bay says, you get that red jacket any way you can, because the only way you go to seminar is red jacket or naked, right? And we already know that these 3 people might be mother, sister, cousin, and if the dog could come in this class, it could be that, right? And what I found is, like, some consultants feel like, how do I keep my team motivated? Or what, sometimes you feel like you're putting something on someone and recruiting them. What are some of these, I'm gonna get 3 bills here. What are your fears about building your team forward?
Letting them down.
Letting them down.
Like,
Who?
I'm not gonna be a good leader for them.
Okay. Who else?
Keeping them motivated.
Okay.
Keeping them.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. One more. Okay.
That they're not in a financial place to keep building.
Yeah, your team
That
members
yes.
are not in financial.
That I might affect their finances.
Okay, wait a minute. This is good. Wait a minute.
They're not like-minded.
Who's not like-minded?
The team you're building, there's something about them that you might have the go-get spirit, you might have energy, and they're like,
Okay, that's because, all right, great, y'all give me, a lot, so I'm gonna slow down with, because she had tears in her eyes. Not being good enough. Okay? Gotta slow it down, this is getting corporate a lot, like, oh, we really need to address a lot of these issues right here. We're gonna slow down a minute, come back to these, because these are really good, more than what I had anticipated, I'm sure more than what they had anticipated as well. So one, let's talk about, I'm gonna come back to, because I want to get all of them and not, let's talk about a couple of these things. Now let's love the way God works, because He's shifting this in a little bit different way. Because there are tears in their eyes and not being enough. And you know what? Sometimes at all phases of our business, we feel that, so that's a very true emotion. And kind of how to address that is, when you look at this business, like we will ask God to allow you to decrease so that He can increase. And one day, God kind of showed me, like, my job is just to give this opportunity away. Like Mary Kay said, that one thing that we could do is to pass it on, and us not passing it on as being selfish. And one day, God gave me this vision, that what if I got to heaven, and He showed me this woman could have, lived longer if she wasn't working 2 or 3 jobs. And when He whispered to me to give her my card and share this opportunity, it could have kept her from having a heart attack. Or maybe this woman, maybe she would not have abused her kids if she had an opportunity to be in this vehicle to learn how to love herself. And then she could love her children more. And He was just walking me around heaven, showing me, like, all of these women. This woman's husband might have lasted longer on earth if she was able to keep him from working 2 or 3 jobs and have an executive income coming home, and his blood pressure would not have been so high. And He was just showing me all these different things. And then that began to take the fear out of that it's not about me. It's who God is using me for. So you are all more than enough. And God is going to connect you with the people that can hear your voice, can hear Him speaking through you. Normally, you all know me, I'm very loud and intense, like LaRonda. But when it comes to team building now, and closing the sale, closing the recruit, He transforms me so that I can connect with that person one-on-one. Does that help you a little bit? Does that help you some? The next person, it was like keeping them motivated. Now let's keep it real. When you get the first team member, she's DOA, dead on arrival. Second team member, she may be possibly hot or watching you. And the third one might be a little bit fast. So this is not designed to be a slow walking situation. It is when you become a star team builder, if you've been in that Big Jacket jail for years, it's time to get out. It's time for you to unlock the key and set yourself free. Okay? And it's like, why not? Many of you in this room that have been in a red jacket for a long time, you, like my Valerie over there, you are your director's right-hand person. I believe you asking that question has also set her free. Because I know she's felt that way too. And I'm like, you can run the meeting. If I'm out of town or I give the meeting to her. I say, run the meeting, teach the meeting, orchestrate the conference call. They are my mini needs. Many of you are the mini needs for your director. And why are you not getting compensated? You're only at 4%, and I see either some of you are dressed like DIQ, or you're either in the wrong class, or whatever is going on right now, or 13%. Why are you stuck at, as I call it, entry level, when you should be compensated at leadership level? So this is not designed to be a slow walk business. You get your 3, you go to 5, you promote yourself a team leader. I'm so excited that right now, the way I'm telling this story, is that I tell people, what, so many of our new consultants, they come in and they go right on, because they say, why am I going to get 3? Why not go to 5 and promote myself to team leader and give myself a raise to 9 to 13%? If your job or any employer said, I want you to bring in 5 like-minded people, and come back to that question, 5 people who who have a work ethic, who can get excited about economically empowering other women, or making a difference If you brought them in to work with us and partner with us at our company, we'll give you a 13% raise, give you a position for a company car, and move into our executive position. You would tell everybody to come work with you real quick, right? So why are we so slow about sharing this opportunity? And you're not recruiting people to be beneath you. You're inviting people to partner with you. They're your power partners. And when you're brand new, you're inviting them to be in training with you. So those of you that, just got here, you don't know how you got here to Red Jacket, you did the 5 practice interviews with your director, and they said yes, and you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? What do I do next, right? The great thing about this is you don't have to know it all. You're inviting them to be in training with you. You're looking for who's next. Who's going to be your next 4 or 5 to help you get closer to that big goal for your family, your future, your finances that Laurent just made it so clear. Why do you want to move up? Or maybe you didn't know you wanted to move up until you just came to this class, right? But why not? Why not you? Anything you want more for your family. I guarantee it has something that if you had greater cash, it would make a difference, right? And yes, we can sell a lot through team building. But what if you were able to add commissions of 3, 5, 10,000 added to if you're selling $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a month? What if you can add that? Could it help you do more for your family, your church, your community at a greater level, right? And so team building and sharing this opportunity is like, I believe that when you get to like the 24, the 8 getting it's like Mary Kate just says, it's not just stop. Directorship is not a direct destination, but it's because you showed us this much. Now we're going to give you 36% on your same work that you're doing right now. Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a role play to help you with that. So, and addressing that is speed of the leader, speed of the game. This is not a slow walking. Your team gets motivated when they see you. Move faster. How fast you move, some people are going to follow with you. And understand, it's a third, it's a third, it's a third. This a third, it's a third, it's a third. So if you're moving really fast with building your team, someone that came in and looked dead on arrival, she might look up by the time you're about to be in finishing up directorship and say, whoa, she's doing something with this. Maybe I want to do this. And sometimes God just used people to open the door to get you to the next level. Sometimes that's just all that they were called to do, was to open the door for you to get in the door. So we have to understand that. People coming up like for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Okay? Now back to my friend over here about like-minded people. You have to shift right now. You have to have a vision. Right now, what do you want your organization to look like? When you think about most of the top directors' accolades, it started right here. Think about Gloria Mayfield Banks. When she broke the company record, she was a DIQ in her 3rd month, mid-month. But she wanted to play big on the team to see her director complete her first top director's trip in June, and that's why she broke the company record. So when you play big on the company team, on your national team, on your director's team, because everybody moves for a different reason. Some of you are D and you're gonna move quick, like you just got this red jacket, you just signed up this week and you're moving quick, like LaRonda. You out the gates and shooting. Some of us a little bit pops. LaRonda did really fast. I've been at 27 years. Some of us are pops. Okay? I don't know where I was going with that. Help me back. Your organization, thank you. Building your organization, thank you. Okay. And so some of you, like, I'm driven by the vision. I'm driven by the movement. I'm driven by that. First was like helping my emeritus that went to heaven, Rosa Jackson. I wanted to stand on the stage with her, become a national. That's what moved me, inspired me, because I was adopted by one national area. And then I understood the picture, and I wanted my mom to become a national sales director, and I wanted her to become the first one home in the state of Virginia once I understood the big picture of Mary Kay. Most of my accolades, I didn't go looking for civil excellence and everything. I went looking for how could I bring energy to the directors of my mother's era that I used to serve cake and punch to as a kid. What was missing that needed to help elevate my mother to national? So some of you are driven by the movement. And some of you do lots of volunteer in the church and everything else. You're a servant in every arena of your life. But Mary Kay, leadership is servanthood. But you get an opportunity to economically empower women. Does that make a difference? And economics and finances can take your church, your community, and your family further. So you have to have a picture. What do you want your organization to look like? You have the right that you're going to build your own multi-million-dollar organization. What do you want that to look like? And I remember when I made a decision to move into directorship, I went and I cut out all the pictures of the new directors in the Applause magazine because I wanted it to be diverse. I wanted to be women who are go-getters and who can make a decision. So my friend is like-minded. Now, from the very beginning of Throw Home, when you do your next interview, you have to let people know I'm building a winning team. I remember after being in and out of DIQ, somewhere I got sold on that this is, what else am I going to do? I quit my job at 23 years old and paid off my $30,000 of student loan debt. And when I went through DIQ that third time and I had my little pity party, but I looked at what it had done for our family and my mom and how she had been there for us and how I saw her stand through storms. And I can remember it as a little girl saying, if I could touch a smidgen of the lives my mother touched, then my life would be all worthwhile. Your children are watching you. Now my baby girl is watching me. And we were working so hard to do this million. And she called in because she was at my cousin's for a week, and she was like, are y'all doing it yet? I'm doing it yet. And she was like, I want to come home, Mommy. And she was like, she said a prayer, I pray all the ladies reach their goals, and we can all get to Dallas so I can get to come too. Taylor started crying, and it was like, oh my gosh. And at the day after we finished, I'm like so delirious, no sleep. She's sitting beside me in the bed, and she's looking up. How do you spell daughter? She's looking up mother-daughter dresses so that she could get to come and we could dress alike. And when we were like, this few days trying to figure this, close it out, she started telling everybody, she was telling everybody, my mommy's doing $1 million. And she asked my dad, she says, Granddad, you think Mommy's gonna do it? I think Mommy can do it. It's like when your little child's walking around like they love. But you're not for anybody but for my daughter, right? So they're watching you. So you have to have a vision. My friend that said like-minded. What do you want the people to look like? I remember studying people that became diverse. Okay, it looks like they're RNs, they're educators, they're this, they're that. And I went and warm chatter. I worked in a hospital one day so I could meet some people in the medical field. I went down in the business section, more so I could meet people there. What do you want the people to look like? You decide. You create that vision. And I remember when I was in DIQ and I started saying, you want to work with me? I'm lean in my brain, recruiting machine. I'm building a winning team. Everybody wants to work with me. So you have to change your thought process and your affirmation. And it's like, why not? Any reason that you're thinking, I don't want to share this opportunity with someone is the reason why she's going through a divorce. She needs you. She needs a distraction and she don't needs money. Okay? One of our car drivers that's here, her DIQ just called her because God put her on a spirit. The person that recruited her. She hadn't been married 9 months. She just married her husband in October. She signed up this November. And she was a pivotal part to her completing directorship that's now at Equinox, and she's still here as a car driver, and a pivotal part to our million, and she's here at Princess Court. But the reason why she signed up, she didn't care about the cash. She wanted to be in front of people to take the burden off of her family and friends to help her make it through the holidays of grieving. But she too felt like that team building was going to be like she hadn't finished taking care of her husband. So she really didn't want to recruit or be in leadership. We identified her as DIQ, and she's still kind of fighting that battle. But she was obedient to the Holy Spirit, guiding her to talk to different people. And that's why she's going to be finishing up her car. Does that make sense? See, we never know how God is using us to bring fun, to bring outlet. So when we take that, it's not about us, it's about them. And so I don't know where I am, like on my time or anything right now, but I'm hoping I'm addressing your ears. Okay, I'm on 12 minute mark, that's what I'm saying, talking to his face. So I want to do a role play with you all because one of the questions on here is something about do you believe? Another reason why I don't so that I know that many of you like, do you really believe in this opportunity? Do you really believe? Mary Keller says enthusiasm last 4 letters is the M I sold myself. And I remember being young and 20-something years old, and what I did is I played a little game with myself. And I said, I'm gonna leave my house on a Saturday and I'm gonna work 8 hours like I would my job. Now, I'm still directionally challenged with OnStar, so you know 27 years ago, we didn't even have OnStar. And I was still new to the area of the DMV, and I grew up in Virginia Beach, which was a little bit smaller, and I went to college in the mountains. And now I'm in a DMV, DC, Maryland, which is huge. And I just booked the appointments, it didn't matter where they were. And most of the time I was a loss for those 3 appointments that I went to that day. But at the end of the day, and I calculated the money for that 8 hours, it was more than what I made hourly. Have you ever calculated what you make hourly? And that was a game changer, and that made me sold myself. I knew what it did for my mother and for us, but I had to know for myself. And I knew that if I did quit my job, that I was young enough, I'd always go back and get another job. And I never looked back after 23 years. So at some point, you have to make a decision to be all in. To be all in. And the one that said about the finances, I can't see your face, where's the one that said about the finances? You're offering them an opportunity to change their finances. Are you talking about whether or not how they start inventory? It's not our job to worry about how they're going to get it. I've seen people in my career that my job is to present the opportunity, and your director will present the opportunity, and I do know that there's some situations where maybe you're kind of working a little bit different, so you want to study somebody if you have to present the opportunity of the inventory yourself and find that tool. But our job is to present, to provide what is laid out there in the benefits, and that's why the companies come up with Great Start, Great Futures. So even if they have to start low, they can still find their win. Does that make sense? And if they can start high, then they have a jump start. But when I go over inventory, when someone just does not have any resources, like really one of my consultants years ago, she had just had given her life to Christ, was transformed from, being on drugs. She was living in projects of Detroit and all. So you would have known none of this about her. But this is what she shared me in the transparency of that conversation. And at the end, and I went over and she wanted to be a star consultant. And back then, that word being a movie star was like being a pro star. And I said, well, you just pray about it. Because I don't know who is in your life and who is in your opportunity and your circle of influence. But what I do know is if however you decide that you want to start, God will open the doors and bless it for you. She called me the next day. She was like, I got my inventory. And I was like, well, where did you get it from? And she said, well, you told me to pray about it. And in her situation, she'd go to her to ask her boss. And her boss gave her the money and she started. And she lived long enough to get her kids out of that project. So you never know. Another person, she was down south, and she was like, I'm gonna sell a hog to get my money for herself. That's how much she believed it. I was like, okay, girl. Then she was like, I got the money from my inventory. And I was like, where'd you get it? And she was like, I got the Mary Kay credit card. God supernaturally, through all the credit situation, everything, opened up that door. Okay? So I want to do a role play with you guys really quickly. Somebody, tell me, well, who asked the question about role playing? Or interview. Tell me your name. Julie, come a little bit closer, okay? Because one of my voices, and we don't have a cordless mic. Okay? So Julie, tell me a little bit about you. Yeah, come up here. Yes, because this is real. Because one of the other things I think is missing is our ability to connect with people in the interviewing process. Sometimes you're being too mechanical, and you're going through the motions to say, did an interview, I did. They said, do 10 interviews a week, I did it. But you got to make that heart-to-heart connection with them. So, Julie, tell me a little bit about you.
I'm single and work a full-time job with real estate.
I'm going to take that. not take notes, whether it's on the phone or not. If I'm talking to someone over the phone, I want to have such a rapport with them that I feel like that I'm sitting like this, holding their hand, eyeball to eyeball, so you can feel the connection with them. This is a cheek to cheek, breast to breast, but we do know some people, don't want to be that close. But you got to feel like you are connecting them with them like Mary Kay. Well, so you're single, okay? So, and I want to hear her talk, okay? Because when she talks, she's going to tell me. You're going to learn to listen. What is their personality type? What they say, even if you don't have a ponder pink sheet or anything. So let's start again. So tell me a little bit about you.
So I work full-time in real estate, and it's something I've done for a couple of years. It's not really anything I'm really enjoying, but paying my bills. I enjoy spending time with family, but other than that, I don't really have any major hobbies or anything like that.
And I want you to think, I want you guys to write down what you think a personality type is. She said that. Okay, do you have any kids? Okay. So what is the smile on your face, Julie, as you join a day-to-day basis?
I actually love when I get to work with the ladies that are in my real estate group, and I can help them in sorting things out and solving their problems.
We can't hear.
So I enjoy at my job, the part I do enjoy is working with the other ladies that are there and helping them kind of problem solve when we have objections and things like that. Just working with them and helping them do better in their role.
And what about that makes you feel proud? Okay.
Seeing them succeed.
No, I should do. What did I ask you? But where's the first one? Sorry, we're not about okay. So what was the last thing you did that made you feel proud and successful?
I actually helped somebody kind of overcome a belief barrier that she had in her business, and she's actually doing really fantastic at the same wage as her.
Okay, excellent. So she only said one thing, and I would ask her more about what about that made you feel good? And she said, nothing. And if you had all the time and all the money, Julie, how would you love to live your life here? If you had all the time and all the money, how would you love to live your dream life here now?
I would love to be able to spend more time seeing my family and investing more into my nieces and nephews around the country.
Tell me more about investing in them.
I want to be able to provide for them like their parents aren't able.
Is there anything like specific that
Getting them really solid education. I only actually finished through 7th grade. Sorry. And I want to work for them.
This is what you're trying to reach. You need to know, you want team members that stay with you. When you get to the heart of what gives them purpose in their life, this is where you're going to have women that stick with you. So now, I've heard a lot of things, Julie. Before I begin to share about the business, because what I'm already hearing from you is that you could be an excellent candidate for leadership with Mary Kay. Well, what's been your experience with Mary Kay before I can share information?
Funny enough, my mom actually was a Mary Kay consultant back in the day. So I've used the product for most of my life. I was a little bit in other things like a great company.
And what would be important for me to share with you today about the business in order for you to decide to partner with Mary?
Probably just as long as I can teach me what I needed to do.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, if we could teach you how to lay up, how to lay up track, would you be willing, coachable, and available?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Sometimes in this relationship thing, Sean Key would say, you don't have to give the whole marketing plan, but I'm gonna do a couple different things. You can just go ahead and say, this is a vehicle that would allow you to look out for this family second career thing and financially change, if I can show you within your schedule, to create the income to help you with your family. would you be willing to make a $100 decision to give it a try? Just to see. Okay, sometimes you can go just right to the close. Okay, so then other times, then I would say she's had some background with it, but if she hadn't had some background with Mary Kay, then I would explain to her, Mary Kay is based on God first, family second, third, and third. I like to say that we have 2 tracks that you can work your business. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I like to say entry level, which is a beauty consultant teaching skincare and color cosmetics. And she can market the product 5 different ways and make 50%. And I might go through a little bit more depending upon what I feel that type of person that she is. On the face, on the go, online, on paper, on with the show. I may go through it in detail, or I may not, depending upon the time. I can feel that she is leadership. And I said, but you earn great team building commissions for economically empowering other women. You said you felt great for helping people problem solve, making a difference in their lives, and that's what we look for, some of the characteristics that we look for in a leader in Mary Kay. So we have this new amazing program that when you build your team to 8, you can go immediately into our leadership training program. You know, and I was going to say beauty consultants might make like $20,000 to $50,000 part-time. And they teach women how to teach skincare and color cosmetics. And at the leadership level, not only do we teach women that, but we teach women how to have successful home-based businesses and live their best lives ever. And that seems like they're very passionate about making a difference in the lives of others as well as their family, their future. And so for this same work, now you can promote yourself to 13%, 36%, 13%, which I'll come around kind of next set, 13% from personal team building, 13% as a director, 10% volume bonuses, versus as a consultant, you get a $50 bonus for building your team. As a director, you get a $100 bonus. And now no tax with the Great Starts, Great Futures. And if you like to pull the things alive, you can win a diamond in the top director trips as well. I might go into more about that. And then our pinnacle position is that of the National Sales Director, where they're coaching and mentor to the directors. And there's a very secure program, and income potential can be anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. So, as you know, $100 is just to start, just to see if this anything can be available to change your life. And when we think about all the things you spend $100 on, things you can't buy, we can't fit, go to Walmart without a cart, you eat up, and it goes right through you. Why not, right? We didn't make a lot of difference in anybody else's life. So, you know, we signed her up, and I said, you know what, so who are the first 3 people that you will love for your power partner? So that this can be the vehicle to fund your dream, to help you provide more for your nieces and your nephews. And the part-time hours, we can begin to teach you how to have an executive income to do more for your family. I'm excited about partnering with you. Building the relationship and getting to the core. Because then I'm gonna say, okay, Julie, we have 2 more people. Who are the next people? Who's gonna win your life? Who's gonna take you to team leaders so you can have more resources to fund the education for your nieces and nephews? Every step of the way, I want to remind her of what her purpose is. I think I've kind of